please support us on Patreon. Pledge any amount, and we continue giving you this content. But all right, we are going to be talking about huge events yesterday. A lot of talking points from what actually happened in the co-main event, Usman versus Chimaev, and also some hints about UFC Africa, some new developments there. We're going to take our predictions of Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, which, by the way, is next weekend, guys. And yeah, a lot of talking points. Okay, first of all, Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev. I want to go last, but I want to hear how you guys scored the fight. I'm going to go with Temba first. Temba, when you were watching this fight, how did you score it, please?
Hello, the African fighters. My brother. I told you this last week that I would go with Chimaev any day for this fight. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't finish Usman. But yeah, man, the results were what was supposed to happen. Chimaev winning that fight. Usman did look good in all honesty, and I feel like under a full camp it's a different fight. But however, we cannot say this. What if if you sign a dotted line to fight somebody, whether it's on short notice or on full camp, it's your responsibility as a man to own up to the results. And you cannot have both. You cannot have excuses and results. You have to have one.
Right. So no excuses. But Temba, how did you score the fight?
I scored it the way the judges scored it.
So you would say 10-8 first round, second round Usman, third round Chimaev?
Yeah, I would score it that way. I would even score all of the rounds to Chimaev. But yeah, I would even score all the rounds to Chimaev.
Okay. So in that case, that would have been
10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 all the way through.
30-27, that is. How about you, Toby? Toby, you are making faces. How did you score the fight? Hey, if I say bad connection now, you people will be. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know you called my name. Okay, so I scored round 1, 10-8 for Khamzat, and I think Usman won the next two rounds, round 2 and round 3. Just because I think on the feet he dominated the fight, like he was clearly the better guy standing up. And the few times that Khamzat took him down in those 2 rounds, there wasn't any threat. It was just a takedown. So for me, I think the fight was a draw. I give it 10-8 round 1 to Chimaev, and then the other 2 rounds to Usman.
Okay, so Toby thinks it's a 28-28 fight. King Demola, how about you?
Interestingly, right? Logic over emotions, right? I had to sense check that I am not being biased because he's my Nigerian brother. But while I was watching that fight, clearly round 1 was a 10-8. I think I posted it on MMA group. But the second round, I think Usman had that round, and the third round, to be very honest, I think that round was razor close, right? So that takedown, I think you could make an argument that Chimaev stole that round, the third round, with the takedown. But the thing is, he did not do much with the takedown. So I still would score that round to Usman because he had more significant strikes. He had more damage in the third round. So it's a 28-28 from my own scorecard. So it's a draw.
Hey.
And to chip in, right, if that fight were to be a 5-round fight, it would have taken a different complexion.
We're not doing what ifs. We're not doing what ifs.
So
we're not doing what ifs.
It's a draw, but then a win for Chimaev is good for business. So we leave with that.
Yeah. Okay, so my own was as I was watching the fights when it got to the judges, right, when they were about to announce it, I was not even being like at the edge of my seat waiting for them to give Usman the fight. I had already registered in my head that regardless of a 10-8 in the first round, because of that lengthy ground control that Chimaev had in the third round, I kind of feel like we had to give it to him, even though one of the judges gave Usman that third round. But yes, I think Chimaev won round 1 and round 3. Um, so obviously, uh, this is not a popular opinion. A lot of people, Usman has gathered a lot of fans, mostly because he was the underdog coming in this fight. Usman has been one of the most hated fighters in the UFC for a long time. But this fight, because he came in the underdog, and a lot of people now are kind of like waiting to see the downfall of Chimaev. They were hopping on the Usman wagon. And to be fair, with the fact that Usman came in short notice and he was a welterweight, you can see there is a strength and size difference. I would say he did put a good account of himself. But yes, we're still going to stay on that. Before I go, Tumbosun says that a takedown with nothing on it. Uh, well, yeah, that third round takedown
Yeah, nothing,
was not very
nothing.
eventful, was it? Would you agree, Temba?
What, me?
Yes, that third round takedown by Chimaev was not very eventful for him, was it?
Yeah, but
But there was like
what did
over a minute of control time, yeah.
Yeah, but it was not just control. It was control leading up to something. He was trying for something. So you cannot just take away that,
Mm.
like it's effective striking, firstly, and you have to take down the guy and you have to do something with it. Um, it is your responsibility as a man to get up when another man is on top of you, instead of trying to punch. Only that Sharapov won because he was on his back making damage, real damage from the back, and he had already did some damage from standing. Whereas Usman didn't do any damage standing. He was touch and moving around. It was almost like he was just in there to make sure he does not get hurt, move around, because like you've lost the first round very badly. You go out there guns blazing in the second round. That's how I think he should have done. Go out there and make sure there's no doubts about who won the second round and the third round. So being a champion, a guy that was a champion in the past, you need to be effective in certain things. And
Hmm. Yes,
uh,
I agreed. Usman did say he's because of the losses is a bit doubting himself in the confidence realm, confidence part of fighting. But I'm still going to stick on Usman, right? After the fight, in some of the post-fight interviews, he did mention something interesting about what his plans are. And from what he's saying is like he had enjoyed the weight cut in 185, if the fact that he had never felt this way before, and he wants to stay in 185, and he threw out a proposal out there. He said that how about UFC 300 and he should fight Dricus Duplessis. Well, he was like, well, if Chimaev is going to fight Strickland for the title, I should fight Dricus in the co-main. Which for him it does make sense for him, but does that make sense for Dricus? I will go to you, Temba. What do you think?
that fight does not make sense for Driggers.
Mm,
Driggers has already earned his spot as a title contender to be number one, to be the champion there. I tell you this, I will keep on repeating this. I think Driggers beats all of them. I don't know about Chimaev. Chimaev is the toughest fight for Driggers. Um, but who knows what happened in their training camp when Driggers went to Florida to train with Usman. Apparently,
mm,
they sparred or trained together, and Usman claims that Driggers knows what I can do. So I don't know
mm.
about that, but yeah, from what I watched yesterday, Driggers destroys all of them. Um,
Well, you see, that is why it is amazing to have Temba here. I had no idea that Draco spent some time down there in Florida with them Usman.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Driggers is trained there, and they've trained together.
oh
So
yeah, he trains with Henry Hooft when he comes around, doesn't he?
yeah, and they train together. I think sometime, and they know each other. I don't know, but training and fighting is different. What I saw from the fights yesterday, Driggers destroys Kamaru. He finishes Kamaru. If Driggers gets on Kamaru's back like that, it's done. It's over. You can make a celebration for that. If Driggers gets on someone's back, Driggers is strong, not just strong where it's like he's really really strong.
He's a really big middleweight, isn't he?
Yeah, it is a really big middleweight. But however, man, coming back to your question, brother, yeah, I don't think the fight makes sense for Driggers, but it is actually, I think in the division, I think it would be the easiest fight to just say, let Clement say, hey, I'm the guy. You should have given me this opportunity. So I would take that fight also based on just the accolade of saying I've beaten a former champion,
Mm-hmm.
who is Kamaru, and the legend that he is. Like Kamaru is a legend regardless of the results that are happening right now. He's a legend in the sports, future Hall of Famer. So for that sake, I think it's a good fight for Driggers in that sense of like.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and also with the fact that Drakus might him fighting Usman and finishing Usman would only do him good in the sense that if he thinks about it this way, the reason why he kind of got overlooked for the Strickland fight was because he is not as much of a big draw as Chimaev versus Strickland would be, or as Usman versus Strickland would be. But this is a chance for him to like kind of like be like, I'm here and I'm him. Most especially if we see some drama getting into this fight, like this Africa versus Africa situation. If that goes into this fight and he fights Usman and he feels like he beats Usman, then I think this would do more good for him. Also, we should not forget that Dana White did kind of hint at the fact that they were disappointed that he did not take his title shot when he was given the title shot to Adesanya. So maybe him fighting Usman might not be a very bad idea because I'm pretty sure he's very very confident in winning that fight. But uh, Toby, I beg make a case for me of Usman beating Dricus.
Ah, I feel like that's the hardest question on planet Earth right now. If I'm being honest, ah, brother, I'm going to like have to leave you on an island in this one. I don't think Usman can beat Dricus right now. Um,
Ah,
Why
I'm
not?
serious. Like Usman right now. I feel like he needs a fight that he can win. Right, he's lost his last three. If you put him in the ring with a hungry, frustrated Dricus, that has something to prove right now, because I feel like Dricus is angry. Like he just needs to catch somebody that is going to pour that anger on. So Usman should avoid all those kind of people. I think, how many fights does Usman have left in him until his career is over? I don't know. 4, maybe 5.
yeah, so
I
since
don't think you
since
should waste
Toby, since you
one of
cannot
those.
make a case, here is Tumbosu making a case for you. Tumbosu says true, but Dricus would never shoot like Chimaev. Then, so that first round with Bronson has me questioning things still. Well, that Bronson fight, have you forgotten that two more fights happened after that? Have you forgotten about what he did to Robert Whittaker?
Robert,
Tumbosu, don't
And Driggers does
sleep
not
on
have to
one.
shoot. Driggers does not have to shoot to beat Kamaru.
Yeah, I think
Dricus
striking
can beat
wise.
Kamaru standing.
Yeah, because K1 kickboxer prior to him joining MMA, he's really the full package, isn't he?
I think he does not even have to shoot for a takedown to beat Kamaru. If they trade like that, Driggers hits harder. Then he's
How
faster.
about how about Usman being on the offensive wrestling? What do you think, Demola?
To be honest, right? For both fighters, I think that fight is a high risk, low reward fight. I'm a finance guy, numbers.